Why is straight everywhere?
Where's my straight flag?
Why am I constantly getting straight
Where is my straight flag?
Why are straight people holding hands in the street?
When have you ever seen a straight flag?
I don't identify as perhaps the sex I was
So why
born
can't
as.
I identify... OK, why can't I identify as a black lesbian?
Well, firstly, I mean, it was...
I'm serious. And suddenly it was, prove you're not Harvey Weinstein or you can't have a Gillette product. The silent majority just has got sick of it. They've got sick of everything they enjoy in life.
When Piers speaks, the woke stumble, but this time he has facts to back it up. Piers Morgan isn't one to tiptoe around sensitive topics, and his takedowns of woke culture are nothing short of explosive. With his signature blend of wit and sharp reasoning, here are 8 times he calls out the absurdities others shy away from and completely destroy the woke culture.
I'm not triggered by a rainbow flag. I'm triggered by the fact that everywhere I go for a calendar month, everything has to be a rainbow flag. And
well, I'm triggered that everywhere I go for the entire year, everything has to be straight. Why is straight everywhere?
Where's my straight flag?
Why am I constantly getting straight people?
Where is my straight flag?
Why are straight people holding hands in the street?
When have you ever seen a straight flag?
Why has Mickey Mouse got a girlfriend?
Tell me one straight flag hanging right now anywhere in the world.
Why are straight people pushing
is the straight flag?
Identity
Where's the
onto
straight
me?
flag?
Everywhere.
Where's my straight flag?
It's everywhere.
It's never been a straight flag.
You're a straight flag.
Let me bring Tommy back, because this made me laugh.
Piers kicks things off by exposing the double standard in performative activism. His humor hits hard as he asks why one group gets endless flags while another doesn't even get a mention. It's bold and leaves us wondering, but wait until you see what's next.
I think the silent majority, which is a massive number of people, the silent majority just has got sick of it. They've got sick of everything they enjoy in life being redefined as somehow evil and corrupting and worthy of cancellation. They find the idea of the cancel culture completely ridiculous, but they also specifically like everything in their daily life that they enjoy, from comedy shows to movies to music to statues to heroes, whatever it is. The woke brigade's only response to all of it is it's all evil, it must all be cancelled, and we must go to a form of extreme puritanism where if you even crack a joke at work, you must be expunged from human life if it hasn't passed their humour test, which is obviously the worst outside of North Korea in the world.
Cancel culture is killing the joys of everyday life. He criticizes labeling jokes and heroes as evil, calling it extreme censorship. His words resonate with anyone tired of walking on eggshells. Think woke ads are a hit? Piers reveals why marketing to virtue signaling trends often ends in disaster for both companies and customers. When companies grab woke campaigns, they mostly misread their audience, and their bottom line pays the price.
The reality is, like, when you saw what Gillette did with so Gillette always had these big masculine commercials all about being a big, hunter provider kind of man. But then this huge U-turn after the Me Too campaign, and suddenly it was prove you're not Harvey Weinstein or you can't have a Gillette product. And they absolutely tanked their sales in the same way that Budweiser did when they used Dylan Mulvaney, who suddenly decided in the mid-20s that this biological woman, man would be identifying as a woman and make tens of millions of dollars by almost mocking biological females. And you see it time and again where they so grotesquely misjudge their audience.
Piers takes aim at Gillette and Budweiser, showing how virtue signaling can backfire. Is it bravery or just bad business? You decide. But how far is too far when it comes to self-identification? Piers dives into a debate that's as controversial as it gets, and you won't believe where he draws the line.
I think we have a right to self-identify, and you said you want to.
As what?
If you would like to be a woman, you can identify as a woman. I don't know why there is such an issue around.
We've literally just seen a male rapist use that scam to get himself put into a female prison where he could attack vulnerable women inside a female prison, when even his ex-wife said it was all a scam.
Piers tackles the darker side of unchecked self-identification, pointing to real-world consequences. His example of a male offender exploiting identity rules to harm others is chilling.
Anyway, but
is it limitless, this self-identity?
It's not totally limitless.
What's the limit?
When you're talking about International Women's Day, I don't know why we take the conversation around International Women's Day and make it about this.
But if anyone,
there's so many benefits.
Right, but if anyone, according
to
to you, can identify as a woman, anyone can, right?
I don't see a problem with.
Just literally put the hand up and say I'm a woman.
But it's not an easy thing to do, to go out into the world.
It's
very easy.
You might think it's easy to say, but to decide to do that, to say
what
this
is doing it involved?
Whatever that person decides, but to go out into the world and say, I don't identify as perhaps the sex I was born as.
So why can't I identify? Okay, why can't I identify as a black lesbian?
Well, firstly, I mean, it was.
I'm serious. If I can identify as anything without any need to prove I'm actually what that is, why can't I, on International Women's Day, say I'm Piers Morgan, I'm a black lesbian?
In classic Piers fashion, he asks questions no one else will. If identity is limitless, where does it stop? His satirical black lesbian comment emphasizes on the absurdity of abandoning all definitions.
I think that you'd already opened the absurdity door by saying it is limitless. You can do what you like. Anyone can say, I'm a woman. So I simply ask you, why can't I?
I mean, this point kind of ridicules trans people to an extent.
Actually, I think what you said ridicules trans people, because actually people who go through the full process of transition, who actually go through what we used to call a sex change, which I don't think you can muck around with original biology, but those who actually go through surgical procedure over a number of years, I've got great respect for that very difficult journey they go on. I had zero respect for people who just wallop their hand up and go, suddenly, I'm a woman and I want all the rights that a woman has and I want to compete, say, in sport. I'm a 6'4" athlete, sprinter, swimmer, whatever, who's competed very mediocrely in male sport. I now want to come in and crush women in swimming pools and in sprinting events and break all their records, perhaps irrevocably, just by saying, I'm a woman. I think that is the absurdity you were talking about.
But that's not all. When fairness is on the line, sports become the battleground, and Piers tackles the debate over trans athletes and the biological advantage question head on.
You know, they're training as a male athlete for a long period of time before transitioning. So they're having
and it's
that
things
higher
like
testosterone
lung
level.
capacity as well, all these things which you get after, having gone through puberty. They're real things which give most trans athletes an immediate biological advantage. That's my problem. The other half of this is what if they don't compete against women born to female bodies, what happens to trans athletes? Now, I think there's one of two things you can do. Either they compete against their biological sex, which most of them have done anyway for many years, actually never as successfully as they do when they compete against women, which I think is the argument right there. Or you create an entirely new category. There are more and more, as you said, at grassroots level, you create an entirely new category for trans athletes to compete against other trans athletes.
Sports should be fair, but Piers argues that the biological advantages of trans athletes create an uneven playing field. But do you think cancel culture is a tool for justice? The majority believes that it is. However, Piers thinks otherwise.
Ellen DeGeneres, who led the kind of woke campaign, turned out to be an awful piece of work and ends up, of course, being cancelled herself at the altar of her own cancel culture.
If there's one thing that Ellen DeGeneres' downfall proves, it's that cancel culture spares no one, not even its champions. Piers points out the irony of being canceled by the very rules you create. The unfiltered chaos of social media has turned into a relentless wave of negativity, and Piers paints a vivid picture of its impact on today's youth.
Social media and phones, cell phones, have completely changed things as well. And I think, obviously, a lot for good. I think they're very intelligent as a group of people, the ones I meet. They're very bright, they're sparky, they're well-informed, but they're getting a constant churn of dopamine, a lot of it very negative. They're seeing wars in real time all over their social media, the most horrific imagery. And they're seeing loads of other stuff, just constantly bombarded with negative imagery in a way that, when I was young, it was unthinkable. You didn't have cell phones. There was, maybe a television with 2 channels, very heavily sanitized and regulated. The newspapers were very cautious about what they put on their front pages and so on. You just did not get exposed to anything like this kind of sensory overload.
Social media has revolutionized how we consume information, but at what cost? Piers comments on the overwhelming flood of negativity today's youth face. Constant wars, graphic imagery, and unrelenting pressure. He stated that back in his day, content was heavily filtered, making this sensory overload unimaginable. Piers also gets into the body positivity debate with his signature bluntness, applauding confidence but refusing to ignore the health risks tied to glorifying obesity.
We think you don't need it. You're on TikTok every day showing us how big you are.
Yeah, and look,
and you're proud of it.
No. There's a difference. There's proud and then there's just being positive in my own skin, and that's what I am.
Right.
I'm not proud to be fat.
Would you accept that by medical definition you are morbidly obese?
Look, if that's what medically you want to call it, then call it.
Well, no, you know your weight, I don't.
No. But that's, yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Right, so here's my issue with this body positivity thing. People shouldn't be celebrating being morbidly obese, in my estimation.
But that's
because actually it is a dangerous condition that causes many people to die.
Look, you've got a fair point. It is dangerous. It can lead to dangerous issues.
While he applauds self-confidence, he questions celebrating obesity, a condition tied to severe health risks. His critique raises a tough question. Is promoting body positivity helping people, or is it sugarcoating serious health concerns? Do you think Piers nailed it, or is he just stirring the pot? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more.